The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is Krishna Vedala from IUCEE. It is really a pleasure of mine to once again have an exciting webinar. This is the webinar series with our partner Tyagaraja College of Engineering. This is the third one that we are doing with Tyagaraja College of Engineering, and this is something that is very close to my own heart. The design thinking course that has been developed over there and has been successfully running. So this is a case design thinking course given by the webinar is going to be given by Dr. Saravana Perumal from Tyagaraja College, Madurai. So look forward to it, and I'm going to just make him the presenter, and he will be ready to roll. Okay, so again, all of you should, if you have any questions along the way, just text them, and there are a few polls that he's going to use. So please be alert, and we'd like to see a good dialogue. Okay, the good conversation, so we can all learn from each other. Okay, so here we go, Saravana. Just click on share your screen, and you're ready to go. Yeah.
Very good evening, one and all join in this webinar. This is our third webinar on this series. Previous two webinars on CDIO framework, and this webinar will be focused on the comparing the CDIO framework and how it's been mapped with an design thinking experience. So it's a small case study has been presented for an experiential learning of the students. So myself, one of the course designers, and other course designers, Dr. S.J. Thiruvengadam, Dean of Academic Process. So I'm just starting with an, can you see it? Yes. First of all, I'd like to express my special thanks to Professor Krishna Vedala, Executive Director of IUCEE, and also Professor William Oakes, Director of EPICS, for their guidance and the encouragement throughout this process. And I also thank the IUCEE team, Dr. Kanta Reddy and Sridhar Nori, for all the activities in this webinar. I will also thank the TCE management, principal, deans, heads of the department, the CDIO core team members, course handling faculty members, and other faculty members who are supporting on all the points of this course implementation. I will also thank the third year semester students of all the branches of College of Engineering and Technology. Without them, it would not have been possible. I would like to thank all one of you who has directly or indirectly involved for the successful implementation of this thinking course in this semester. I will start my presentation with a quote of Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And Professor Vedala also mentioning that we need to transform our engineering education ecosystem. So we are part of this ecosystem, and we are so responsible on changing this engineering education culture. I hope that this design thinking course is one of the aspect which we can think of changing our traditional engineering education. So I will present some of the experiences, whatever we had during this course implementation. I will straight away start with another planning, designing, implementing, and assessing this course. That will be made into a small outline of this presentation. I will try to touch upon what is the design process, what is the importance of it, and what is the learning experience we are going to have it on the design thinking, and how do you map this one with an CDO syllabus. So based on this one, how this course has been structured in terms of what is the course outcomes, how the syllabus has been evolved, and what is the assessment mechanism has been put into it, and how it has been implemented, and how the students' feedback has been obtained, and I will conclude with a few remarks on it. Design process, actually a thoughtful development of objects that perform desired functions with a given limits. This will be holds good for any irrespective of the nature of branch of engineering and technology. This thoughtful development is a process actually which makes us to develop new things, creating new things in a systematic way. And if it is particularly if it is addressing an human-centered or user-centered design process, it will be considered to be a design thinking aspect of approach which would be more closer to our epics projects. And it requires a systematic way of laying down the foundation of the design and the teamwork and the communication, which are considered to be the professional skills for the 21st century workplace. So this is one of the course we can demonstrate all of this into this course. The Crawley has been already experimented all the things and has been given a set of skills needed for all engineers, has been listed out as an engineering reasoning and problem solving and personal skills, professional skills and attitudes, teamwork and communications, and the external and social context. We need, it's like we're balancing of all the things, makes a comprehensive engineer who can work for the 21st century workplace. So any learning experiences, he has been classified in 4 categories. That's called learning to know, learning to be, learning to live together, and learning to do. So this learning to know is more of a cognitive aspects of it. It's a disciplinary knowledge. We need to have it as a process of evolution. We are gathering the technical expertise on this aspect. It will be of more of learning to know. In case of a personal skills is concerned, how do you approach a problem and how do you do an experimentation? How do you orient yourself over system thinking or any personal skills you have? That will be said to be learning to be. So this is another component. The next component will be of interpersonal skills. It's more of a team and collaborative work we are going to look for. It's, the future generation will be of more collaborative in a social network, even in a social network. How do you encourage these kind of activities on our learning space? The last one is on engineering skills. It will be more of aligning with the CDO skills. We will say that C for conceiving, designing, implementing, and operating. It may be in process, product, or systems. It can be for a business aspect or in a social context. So all the things supposed to be skills supposed to be developed in during the course of study that will make them to more better engineer for future. The design experience, design thinking experience will be starts with an user-centered or human-centered design. So it starts with an people, and from the people we are identifying the problem. For the problem we are developing in concepts, and which will be leads to our specification development, and based on that design will be done, and we are going to develop a prototype, which further it will be interacted with the people for its refinement. It can be an iterative process. In generic, we will say in terms of technical expertise, we will say that design, build, and test. This capability is required for all the engineers. Designing, building, and testing may varies, depends on the nature of engineer what we have. So I like to map this design, build, test into our the epics concept that has been provided. On the epics structure, they will say that the design education, professional preparation, and community engaged learning, all the things blended together to form a comprehensive skill set required for a future engineers. So in this context, what is the requirement of a 21st century workplace? Maybe. So it requires more of a technological literacy, information literacy, communication skills, ability to work collaboratively with others, and the ability to handle dynamic situations, and also obviously the problem solving skills. So how do you develop all these skill sets for the workplace during the course of study? That's a challenge for us we need to address during the program. So a small interaction poll here. The most important key skill addressed in epics projects is critical thinking, creative thinking, community engagement, collaboration, or the communication. I request to poll for.
Okay, the poll is on. It will launch in just a second. Yeah, it is launching now. Okay, so please interact, everybody. I want all of you to interact with the poll. We have a few people have started. And keep coming. I want the maximum number of people interacting with us and saying what you think. And let's see, I'll give it. Yeah, keep coming. We need more participation, please. Let's make this interactive, make this engaging. Okay, so this interactivity is very important to prevent you from falling, to make you as an active learner, active participant of this whole program. Okay, so please come in. We'll have a few polls like this. Okay, so we need a few more. Only half of you have voted. Come in. Let's have one. I'm going to wait for a few more. Okay, so so I'm going to close the poll and display results. And again, those of you who did not do this this time, please be ready for the next. I don't know, Saravanan, can you see the results? Because I can read it out to you.
No, sir.
I am not sure why you're not able to see. Maybe I should make you the make you organizers. That way you'll be able to see. I'll quickly make you.
No problem.
No, I'll make an organizer because you have several polls. I think it should be you should be able to see the polls. So now can you see? The creative thinking is number one, 31%. Then number two is community engagement. And then third and fourth are critical thinking, collaboration. Communication is only 6%. Okay, so that is the result. Okay, so you can go ahead and make your comment.
Okay. So the most of you opted for the critical thinking as an most of you preferred. But the first thing is how do you engage with the community? So on the engagement with the community, the communication is more important as well. So this could be done as a team, which requires a collaborative work, and which is supposed to be done in the innovative way, where we require a creative thinking, and it's supposed to be done in a systematic manner, where require a critical thinking approach. So we cannot omit that, which is required most, because it requires more of blend of all the things, but it's supposed to be sequential in nature. So that will be a community engagement. I will prefer first, which is going to be a critical factor that they have to learn by their own experience. So that's my perspective of looking at this. With this, moving to the next. So again, there is a trade-off, or we can say that some kind of differences will be there in terms of critical thinking and creative thinking. The creative thinking will be of creating new things, which will generate new ideas, and it will be more of a divergent and more of imaginative and intuitive, which will be a lateral aspects of looking at things, or out-of-box thinking aspect. Whereas the critical thinking is concerned, is a more of a systematic approach we need to provide as an engineers, and it's supposed to be a conversion towards where required specifications or requirements to be met out. It's supposed to be a logical, sequential, objective, reason-based, reality-based things supposed to be addressed. So this is a two extremes, but both the things are required for a perfect engineer. So the creative thinking is a way of looking at problems in a different manner or in a new perspective, whereas the critical thinking will be of a logical, sequential, which will be leads to a rationalization, analyzing, evaluating, and interpreting the information to make then informed judgments. That's things we need to address during the course of study. So we have evolved from this course will be evolved from the EPICS activities we had done previously. That will be on 2018. We have been a consortium member. After that, we have been offered a proposal has been called for from the students. It's supposed to be interdisciplinary in nature during the winter vacation. We got 43 project proposals, different project proposals from all the branches has been received, and they have been evaluated, and the 5 projects has been identified and they have been awarded in the Student Achievers Day. And we could see that more number of students are participating on EPICS project, and that's a blend of a combination of boys and girls is perfectly aligned, and also different branches also participating, some more interdisciplinary in nature. However, though this is a review has been already done by the Professor William Oakes during his visit at the February 2019. He has made clear remarks on how to connect with the community what is the importance of connecting to the community. That's where we are lagging on it. So this resulted into a few of our reflection process, where the students are interested in solving a real world problem, but difficulty in maintaining their academic load and the co-curricular activities with the multidisciplinary team is one of the challenges they have faced. And we are not providing a very formal training for the students in handling the community partners. We have made small few interaction or collaborative interaction with the students for how to do it, but we are not made in some systematic training for them. So one of the lack now we find that, and there's a lesser motivation towards an activities without an academic credit, and also the lesser students participation in EPICS project compared to the 4 years of a batch of students. So in order to address all the technical, personal, interpersonal communication skills into a curriculum, it's going to be a challenging for us. So we have been adapted some of the practices of EPICS into the designing of a design thinking course. So that we are introducing a design thinking course as a 3 academic credits, which has been customized from the EPICS design process. And the first 3 phases of it has been introduced as a content for this. There's a problem identification, specification development, and conceptual design phases. So we expect that they need to identify an societal problem form. They need to do a problem formulation. They need to develop their own specification. Then identification of the multiple solutions, are looking for the alternative solutions, and how to identify a best solution among the identified solutions with a defined measurable criteria. And they have to use a systematic procedure in evolving and product architecture with the use of a function-based functional decomposition. And further, they need to develop a conceptual prototype. So it could be matched with an CDAU framework as a conceive and design. Which is a design is a partial, since it's going to be a conceptual design process alone has been addressed here, not the detailed design. So in order to address the further, we have been streamlined other courses also, like engineering design project and system thinking course, and also a capstone project, through which we can address all the conceive, design, implement, and operate procedures, or the skills will be transferred. So the very challenging thing is balancing the people and the technology. So people in the sense, all the stakeholders, and how to convert into the technical specification, and how to engineer it to get the required solution. So the CDO syllabus framework will give us a very clarity on how to address different aspects of skills may be required for a future engineer. So on this aspect, I have mapped this design thinking course expertise or expectations within CDO syllabus that needs some kind of knowledge on underlying sciences, followed by the problem identification and formulation, followed by a small modeling. And they need to go forward the survey of it, and thinking in terms of holistically how it could be addressed, and the personal skills, how they are willingness to take the risk, creative and critical thinking, and the professional skills like your ethics, integrity and responsibility, and accountability when you are working on the team as well as individually. And the interpersonal skills will be in terms of teamwork, communication. The communication may be on written, electronic and multimedia, or graphical or oral presentation, and interpersonal communication. So all the things supposed to be addressed on this course. And besides, it's going to be the CDO framework. The conceived part will be predominant, and it will be locating towards the societal context. So we need to say that what is the roles and responsibility of engineers, the impact of the engineering on society, and society regulations of engineering, and also the conceiving and the engineering systems, setting and system goals, requirements, defining a function, concept, and architecture, followed by a modeling of the system. And design aspects of it, the design process, that is nothing, EPICS design process, we are following it, and supposed to be phasing in the sense, a step-by-step procedure, and how to address this problem approach is going to be a critical factor here. And how the utilization of knowledge has been used for designing it. So these are the skill set expected from a single course. We are looking for a course, and we are made in some kind of effort to bring up all the aspects into it. Again, a small poll on here. Which of the following is the most important for an engineer? Conceiving ideas, designing the solutions, implementing the solutions, or maintaining the system, product, or process?
Okay, I'm going to launch the poll again. Wake up, everybody, and participate, please. So this is the whole idea, concept of active learning, working together, discussing. Okay, let's have a little more participation this time than we had last time. Let's do it. Keep coming, keep coming. Come in, come in, come in. Yeah, I'm seeing some people, more people jumping in this time. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, good, good. There you go. I think you've got used to it now to put the to react to the poll, to do how to do the poll, respond to the poll. Keep coming, keep coming. Here's some more of you should join. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move forward and close and give you the results and share the results. So the Saravana, the results are like this. The topmost is 53% is designing the solution. Next is 32% is conceiving the ideas.
Okay.
Next is 16% is implementing solution. And
Okay.
nobody thought it was important to maintain the system. Yeah, that's interesting. So it's up to you to comment on that. 0% for maintaining the system.
0%. Okay.
This is go ahead. I'm going to hide
again,
the poll and give you back the screen. Yeah.
Very interesting results. Obviously, it's expected that the designing the solution will have more preferences. However, the conceiving ideas is very important because the ideas is transferred as a design outcome. So when you are making, when you are receiving the information in a proper form, whatever you are going to do will be meaningful, and whatever you are going to implement will be meaningful. If you are losing something on conceiving part, that can be a very it leads to a very adverse effect in future. So the conceiving the ideas, which is not practiced in engineering education. So where we need to have train ourselves into this process. The industry has some different kinds of experiences. They have to receive the ideas and make into convert into your design, and even the specification development will be a crucial for in industries. We need to train our engineering students on how to proceed with the conceiving of ideas, then convert into the respective the solutions. So always our students will be focusing on the solutions, not on the problem. So we have to start practicing that, focus on the problem, explore all the aspects of it, whatever the positive, negative, and whatever the stakeholders' interventions, the requirements, because all the time the requirements will not be clearly spelled out. We need to find out the requirements and convert into the design solutions. So the conceiving will be a crucial part. However, equally the designing, implementing, and maintaining is also important in order to have a sustainable solution. So with that note, I'm just moving to the next slide. So we haven't, I'm just making that what is the CDIO skills within design experiences. So the CDIO represents the conceive, design, implement, operate, which is very important. And this experience we are going to provide them during the course of design thinking. So usually this slide will be available in most of the presentations of design thinking. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. This is a flow supposed to be followed in most of the design process. So empathize will be more connected to the audience or the user or the community partner we are working with. Define, how do we defining the problem, and how we are clearly picturizing their requirements, and what is the views and the expectations supposed to is supposed to in detail here. Further, it's supposed to be followed by a brainstorming of our team members to generate ideas, which supposed to be converted to your low-cost prototypes, with the multiple solutions or multiple ways of reaching the requirements. Then we need to classify it and find out which is the best and which is supposed to be tested within the performance criteria. This total process is supposed to be demonstrated as well as experienced during the design thinking course. So with this, all the context, we have been designed this course by defining the course outcomes of 5 course outcomes of this course. So first thing is identification of the specific social need to be addressed. The second one is how to identify the stakeholders' requirements, followed by a development of measurable criteria in which design concepts can be evaluated, and develop the prototypes of the multiple concepts using the user's feedback. That's very important. And followed by a selection of a best design among the potential solutions. So we have been given some kind of weightages based on the quantum of work and the important significance of it. So the identification of the social need may be it looks to be a minimum effort, but it's a very critical factor. So we have provided more weightage here. So we will always used to have one concept map in our syllabus case. So we have 3 modules. It will be like our project identification, specification development, and conceptual design, and which are the sub modules of it. So these things will be indirectly made into the course content here. So these are the course content within 3 phases of it, of design thinking. Is mostly customized from the EPICS design process. So we have just made a small flow of activities supposed to be done on all the stages of the phases. It's purely with respect to the EPICS design process. It's slightly customized for our case. So we are focusing on the first 3 components. That will be on problem identification, specification development, and conceptual design. So what are the things supposed to be the students are supposed to experience? The selection of the problem in alignment to the SDG Sustainable Development Goals. Then there's an initial interaction with the users, and then they have to form a team. Then identification of potential problem, brainstorming, selection of the problem, identification of the stakeholders, and identification of the roles and responsibilities of each and individual members of the team, signing off of a code of contact, a preparation of a collection tool or a questionnaire or interview, and conducting it, summarizing the results. Based on the results, they have to find out the requirements, creation of the stakeholder profiles, small low-cost markups, and development of task analysis, followed by a user interaction plan when they are going to interact with the community partners, how the refinement and iteration will be done at different stages, then benchmarking the products that exist in the market, then developing a customer specifications, then evaluation criteria, followed by a functional decomposition, which will lead to a brainstorming of alternative solutions, and evaluating the feasibility of the potential solutions, and developing a proof of concept prototype. This is what has been focused on design thinking course. So these are the stages all the students has to undergo, and they will come up with at last they will come up with a proof of concept prototype. So in order to evaluate this, we have made an assessment pattern. It's like where 3 periodic reviews will be there, and evaluating each phase of the design process. The problem identification phase, specification development phase, and the conceptual design phase. Each one will be evaluated for the course outcomes with their respective rubrics for it. I will share the rubrics in the next slides. And the end semester examination is not a theoretical. Any of this assessment will not be any theoretical form of examination. It's a purely a project-oriented review process, and the end semester will have a prototype demonstration as well as a post presentation, which will be describing all the COs, demonstrating their ability on all the COs of it. So this is the assessment rubrics for each review has been customized. First, we are initiated the rubrics, followed by our the team of course handling faculty has refined it for their customization. So it's a first phase will be of a problem identification phase. The descriptors will be of need assessment, identification of stakeholders, the definition of the basic stakeholder requirements, project plan, and communication skill. So these five things will be evaluated, and the description for each one has been given here. How they are stated the motivation, how their authenticated evidences has been provided with a suitable data on the current product, process, or system, how the stakeholder has been identified, and the roles and responsibility, identification of the primary contact. So we are just describing all the requirements has been converted to a rubric. Similarly, this is done for the other two review also. So the problem, environment, and stakeholder profile, mock-up and prototypes, customer specification and the evaluation criteria, adherence to the project plan, how they are doing it. Again, we are checking the communication skill. Again, the third review will be more focusing on the conceptual design phase. It's a functional decomposition, alternative solutions and their evaluation, and the quality of the prototype, and adherence to that project plan and communication. Again, this project plan will be verified at all the stages of our review process as well as the communication. And the last one will be of the terminal examination will be of a poster, and the poster has we have shared a poster template specifying all the three aspects of it: problem identification, specification development, and conceptual design. I will share a few of the sample posters later. So this is an assessment rubrics for terminal examination. Similarly, all the aspects of it will be combined and made into some 7 components. Again, similar to the need assessment, the stakeholder requirement, customer specification, how they are made in a process, how effectively they are carried out the process, and how they are demonstrating on the prototype, how they are adhered to the project plan, and their communication skill. So on the course delivery, we have different aspects has been addressed. That is how to form a team, and the roles has been defined as a project manager, a partner liaison. Is based on the nature of the team. They were defining, each one has been defined their own roles. Similarly, they are focusing on the brainstorming and focus group discussions intermediately, and there's a code of cooperation discussion will be on. It has been scheduled, and the stakeholders interview questions and survey question preparation, followed by collecting the voice of the customer and how to identify their priorities. And the specification will be in terms of how do you do the low cost model preparation, how do you arrive at our using our brainstorming, how do you arrive at our the low cost model demo. And it's sometimes we are each branches of engineering has their own way of conducting this and the demonstration. And at last, conceptual design case, again the functional decomposition followed by the primary and secondary function description, which defines the number of components and the nature of component on each category. Further, it will be made for a demonstration of the working prototype. So these are some of the photographs during your brainstorm session. And this is a photographs of our low-cost prototypes. They will use a simple way of expressing their projects. And this is in a classroom environment, the oral presentation through a simple way of poster way also. And we had a small intra-department contest, or the demonstration has been arranged in a different departments. It's one of the mechanical and the IT. They are showcasing their process and their prototypes, and it's a common for everyone can interact with them for their constructive feedback as well as for their improvement. This has been well received by the students, and they have been motivated as well. So this is again what are the projects has been, and The next one is on the prototype demonstration and the poster presentation during the final examination process or the terminal process. So they are demonstrating with a simple prototypes of the conceptual models of their project. Again, it's from different branches of engineering. So we can see that the environment is totally different from our classroom environment, where they have been more interactive, more engaged when you're making their presentation, as well as getting the information from the others as well. So during one of the visits of Dr. Ravi Prakash Salagme, the PBL mentor, has also reviewed some of the project during his visit as well. These are some of the sample posters has been presented in, I think this is on electrical department, and this is on the information technology. And so these are the things we have been practicing. We have been given in some kind of interaction sessions during the class hours and also the after working hours, and they have been so engaged on doing these project activities. We could see that some kind of changes in their approach on solving the problems. So however, we need to say that how effectively we have been imported this design thinking course. We have conducted a survey, as they are the primary stakeholder of this process, and I will share some of the results of it. So we have around 800 students in this batch. That is a third semester of all the branches of engineering and technology, and this is all the branches has been contributed on the responses. It's a 520 responses has been received from all the branches of engineering and technology. And we are categorized into our 4 levels. First thing is the learning experience on the design thinking process, how effectively they got an experience when they are undergoing this design thinking process. So it has been made into a 4-level scale, Likert scale, and it has been seen that the identification of the societal problem, they are so satisfied or their experience is more on this aspect. So mostly 92% of more than 92% of students has been expressed their good experience on this. Similarly, on the formulation also. However, we could find small variation on the 3 and 4 category. So the formulation side, they find slightly difficult, and we need to have some kind of handhold so that they will do much better the next time. And the literature review, they are searching for the research articles, patents, or existing products. Some of them feel that they could not find their product in a right place. So a little bit of frustration mood they have. However, we need to overcome this aspect in future, and they need to train that how to search for one respective. It's like a more of information literacy we need to cultivate. And the next one is on identification of stakeholders in their project. They are well received, and they could find stakeholders much better, and they can extract the specification of them. It's also better here. And the specification development process, they had a good experience. However, they find that making into the functional decomposition, they are not so exposed to it. So they are having slight help is required on customizing the specification development process. And also on the functional decomposition also, they need to train further. However, we can see that most of them has been preferring the 3 and 4 towards were excellent and very good. And the prototype development, most of them has been satisfied and doing it, and they have been so engaged, and they are so curious on doing new things that we could realize it. And the next one is on the team experience, how they are had an experience with their working with a team. So how the roles and responsibility has been assigned, how far they are satisfied with this. So most of them has been satisfied with their roles and responsibilities. Some of the teams expressing their uh, differences in opinions. It will happen, and also it can be reflected in the next thing is opportunities to contribute individually. So this is also most of them is agreeing that I can contribute much better as an individually as well as a team, and the contribution of the others also this are more. We could see that more number of two has been referred here. It may be how the dynamics of the team performed. We need to evaluate in the next time in the during our continuous assessment also. It's one of the thought process we got here. And the next one is on the experience on the professional communication. So it's a more of oral presentation, how their experiences are. So everyone will be had a more better experience on oral presentation as well as on the written report writing. We can see that some of them are a little bit reluctant to write and are technical writing and technical report. So it could be customized further for their how to make it easier also. And the next one is on the post presentation and preparation and presentation. Most of them has been satisfied on this aspect. Most of them has been opted for 4 here. That reflects that they are so engaged and they are so interested on doing this kind of multimedia kind of communication aspect. And they are also engaged on using their drawings and sketches in generating new ideas and communicating with the team members and other stakeholders. And we are looking at the assessment. Again, the assessment needs to be simplified. I hope so. So this will be easily communicated to the students and try to make them so comfortable. And we can see that more than 88% of the students has been comfortable with these rubrics for executing their project. And the satisfaction level of the assessment also more than 85. And about our periodic reviews, they all much felt much better here. And also on the terminal examination, since it's going to be a poster presentations and a demonstration, they are liked more, because if it's going to be a theoretical course, they have to sit for 3 hours and writing the exam. They are not so interested on doing the theoretical way. So they are so performing better also here. And we have asked for the confidence level of their presentation in the forum like open house and hackathon. The most of them express that they are so confident in presenting their ideas and the projects. And we are asked for the overall experience as well. So the overall experience more than 90. So it reflects that the perfect success of this course, and they have a better opportunity to have creativity and creating new ideas, and opportunities for critical thinking as well as that is our systematic and logical way of problem solving. How it will be, how do you have an experience? They had a better opportunity for critical thinking approach, and also the better opportunity for collaboration, and also for the communication aspect of it. The 4 C's will be very important for 21st century learners. There's an creative thinking, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication, where this course has been addressed all the aspects of it. Most of them has been satisfied with their critical thinking aspect and creative thinking and collaboration and communication aspect of it. So at last, we like to have some kind of a feedback which will carry on their acceptance and convenience of undergoing the social projects, as well as for going further on the other courses like engineering design project and the capstone project and system thinking courses, which will be in line with the delivering the CDO skills. So we are asked for that some kind of agreement on these statements. Engineers play major role in solving societal problems. So most of them agreed that they need to address these societal problems by the engineers. And the team effort is better than individual effort. Surely most of them has been agreed that the team effort is better than the individual effort. This course supports and motivates me to involve new product development and entrepreneurship. We could see that most of them has been inclined towards developing a new product, and also they are interested on the developing themselves as an entrepreneur. The project experience or the project requires expertise from the other disciplines. This course has been offered within the discipline. There is no interdisciplinary team not formed so far. So we like to explore this aspect in the further coming courses. That's why this question has been asked, that how far they are willing to, they require other disciplines expertise, and also how do they willing to work with them other disciplinary projects. So these are some of the inferences we are observed. Surely it reflects that what are the expectations and how they are. We can customize other courses in aligned to their requirement. So these are some of the positive comments has been given. It's a very useful, actually made us to understand how the engineering practically works. It's developed my skills. It has some better ideas. So these are the positive comments has given us that the success of this course indirectly. And also some of them looks like were it helps us the creative thinking and execution of our own idea. It helps us to get and interact with each other and develop a teamwork. I really enjoyed this course, develop a new multi-aspect talents. So they are expressed all their feelings of success. And also we have received that some of the scope for improvements. So they are expecting that other department staffs or the faculty member also be interacted for betterment of their projects, as well as they are not satisfied with the team size. So some of you requesting for a smaller size team so that everyone will contribute for, and some of the members expressing that the report submission can be short enough so that they have a lesser time to document it, and they need some technical guidance for it, and they course even more organized. Sometimes they say that they express that it's supposed to be more organized. I need to realize that this is the first time try of this course. I believe that it will be successful in upcoming years. They can understand better how this course has been progressed and how to be improved as well. So they are also expecting adequate time for prototype making. We are expecting only the conceptual level models, not on functional models. So some of them will be receiving that it's supposed to be a functional model. However, we need to maintain this tempo and we have to move ahead with the development of a functional model.
Okay, so we have one more interaction. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm launching the poll. Okay, everybody, we're getting towards the end, so we should close up very soon. So you're almost done, right, Savana?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's the poll. It says design thinking course will improve the skills of student engineers, such community engagement, creativity, critical thinking. So please select one. Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it. Okay, let's most of you come on, come on board. We still have about 40 people with us, so let's get everybody engaged. And I can see the trend over here. It's quite almost unanimous that they strongly agree. So I'm going to close at this point, so that so the share is 76% strongly agree and 24% agree. So that's good. Okay. So go ahead. Okay.
So ahead. Just I made a confirmation that whether this course is be purely addressing the 21st century learners.
Yeah.
So surely it will be addressing it with a confirmation and moving. Okay, wrapping up of it.
Sure.
So it's a CDO skills. We are mapping the design thinking. The most of things has been addressed in a single course. Similarly, we need to make in some connected courses. Will be making that all the aspects can be covered in future. That's why we have a stream of courses in different semesters. That will be in the next semester we have a project management, which will be helpful for them to do it on the engineering design project, and also the system thinking course, which will be help them to do it on the caption project. So this continuity has to be maintained. This design thinking process, they have to do it on all the projects they are going to come across. So it is going to be engineering design project, capstone project, or their final year project. They have to practice this design thinking approach in all the aspects that that will be makes them so comfortable on this design process. And we are going to address other personal, interpersonal, and communication skills as well. So surely we are going to addressing on societal context. We need to address on the business concepts in the next coming semester, and we have to address on the implementing and operating as well. So it's a concluded remark. This is the objective of this CDO framework. The graduating engineer should be able to conceive, design, implement, and operate the complex value-added engineering systems in a modern team-based environment. Surely these kind of courses surely will be make them to have the learning to know, learning to be, and learning to live together, and learning to do. All these skills that can be blended up in this kind of courses. Surely the design thinking course will facilitate the students' experiential learning by engaging them in solving real-world societal problems. Surely this addresses the conceive and design abilities.
Wonderful.
And we need to be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Saravana. This is fantastic. Okay, I was really impressed with the thorough planning, implementation, assessment, and all the details that you went through. Very impressive. And I'm really glad you made this presentation, because I think many of the people participating also might have appreciated the systematic approach to this whole program. And hopefully we are trying to build, IUCEE is trying to build a community, as you know, of all the EPICS people and design thinking people. So this is very good. I'm glad to see that being part of EPICS and being part of CDIO, all of these things are coming together, and you are able to do some fantastic work. While I wait for a few questions from our audience, let me just ask you a couple of quick questions. So this is a huge effort. So how many faculty members are seriously spending a lot of time on this, in addition to you?
It's going to be we have 7 branches of engineering, and each branch has 2 faculty members has been handling the course. So we have 13 faculty members. We will initiate this rubrics and other things slightly, and they will be involved in customizing it, and the implementation difficulties will be addressed from their discussion.
Okay, so there's one overall perspective. You and a couple of some people look at it, and then the individual department is 2 people.
We will call for some meeting so that it will be presented to them. So they will be making their own opinions, suggestions. We are defined so much of things into our rubrics based on their recommendations. Without them, it's not at all possible, because they are doing on their field. So they are bringing up some of the difficulties and challenges intermediately before doing the periodic reviews. We will have a meeting, and we will discuss all the things, and we will set up, and we are sharing this thing with our students as well.
Question from the audience. It's a good question. Are there any theory lectures at all, or is it all interaction, the whole course?
Some of the theory part will be in the initial phase, because we need to involve them into this process. They are very new to this process, and it's a different experience. Even for the first and second review, they are a little bit hesitant, or they feel very difficult to cope up with. However, once they have been tasted it, they have been so involved, and they are done much better than expected. So we can have surprises they can provide us on this kind of engagement.
So the lectures also are the process. Now suppose in selecting projects, suppose they find the need for some additional technical knowledge of some sort. How do they get that?
That will be done at the department level. We have a special interest group kind of a structure. So a domain of people will be expert on different domains. So the facilitator or the course handling faculty will be deputing them to our respective faculty, and also they are be helping on this project as well.
Okay, so you have some technical consultants who will from the
Yes,
faculty,
yes, the faculty side.
who are aware of this, and so that the students are guided to go to those content experts.
Content, exactly.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent. So let's see other comments, folks. Come on, we need to expand on this program. This is the first time I've seen somebody make such a detailed, thorough presentation about the design thinking course. If any of you also have similar things, we would like to hear from you, because that is what IUCEE is about. Create the ecosystem where we share, and I'm sure that even if you are doing your own design thinking course, this what Saravana has presented, I'm sure has given you some ideas to maybe build on, and so I'm sure you also have some things that other people can build on. So we would like to build on this community, and as I said, we have had this EPICS program for the last 3 years, and IEEE EPICS and EPICS program itself, and the Tyagaraja College has been a very active member of this. In the future, we are going to find a slightly different model, because the first 2-3 years it was quite expensive, and we were not able to scale it up to many institutions because of the cost factor. But we are going to have a different model with which is a little less expensive. And so if you are all interested in joining this community of design thinking and EPICS and programs, and it also connects with the Engineering Without Borders, because all similar approaches. So please join us on Sunday, January 5th, because we have a special session for planning for the future of the EPICS and the Design Thinking Consortium on Sunday, January 5th, with so some of the whoever colleges are interested in that. This is just the day before the conference at Hyderabad ICTI 2020 starts. So please email me I'll send you more information. But I would like as many colleges as possible to be represented there and have a discussion as to how to move forward this coming year and in future years with the design thinking / EPICS program that we have been having for the last few years. Okay, so other comments, questions, please jump in, please. It's good to have some discussion, right? To share ideas and see what you're doing, what other people are doing. So let's just wait for a couple of minutes and see if there is any more anybody else who is jumping in and giving us some of their thoughts. Ravi Talluri, I'm going to pick on you. Any thoughts or comments?
Yeah, definitely. It's a deviation from the norm, but what sir is doing is an excellent effort. And I think if I have to speak from the industry point of view, this is what industry is looking forward. So yeah, I would like to applaud his efforts.
Ravi has a background in industry and many industries in India and abroad, Ravi Talluri, and so we have been getting him involved with our IUCEE programs, and he's in fact going to conduct the workshops for the students at our annual student conference in Hyderabad on January 5th, 6th, and 7th in Hyderabad. He'll be conducting the initial workshop to get them started on the projects and so on. So if you again send your students to the annual student forum, and they will see Ravi Talluri and work on projects during those 3 days in the student forum. So quick questions from other people. Ishrat Mirzana says, is the design thinking carried out on an interdisciplinary platform? You may have addressed that, but go please.
As of now, we are not addressed interdisciplinary. But we are planning for the next set of projects we have, project course, where we like to make a multidisciplinary case, because we need to, it's again an implementation challenges. Initially, we need to try with the small changes, incremental changes, and we like to see the successfulness. Then we can explore it further. That's the idea of doing it. So this is one of the success we have in a department level. So we need to try with the interdisciplinary. Again, how to coordinate, how to make a review process. We need to find out some mechanism to overcome this.
Yeah, very good. So question from Jatin. He says, have you tried to cross-verify how the students are empathizing with their users? Like for example, I think perhaps to check with the users themselves, get some survey from the users, community.
Exactly. Actually, we are not exactly connected to the users' feedback, is rightly pointed out. We are got the information from the students. However, they are making an evidences through the videos or their interaction audios. So we are ensuring that they are interacting with the users. However, we are not verified with the users directly. So that's one of the suggestions we can think of how to communicate with them.
Okay, I think that's good. I think that obviously this is a work in progress. This is a fantastic effort for the first semester, and interdisciplinary part, working with the users. All these are things that will actually come about. Well, another question: how do you measure ethics? And do you have any way to include ethics in the situation in the project?
Actually, it's not exactly the directly measured, but however, on making a report writing and during our presentations, we are assigning that their roles and their the structure in which they have to cite information, how they refer the information, and that is verified. We are not gone very in depth, that's supposed to be done into the future courses, because if you are making them to more modern kind of thing, they will be a little bit disturbed. So we are making them to come to forward, and they will be customizing further for making much better in the future.
Excellent. So we've run out of time. So I want to thank you and also remind all the listeners and participants about our ICTI 2020 January in Hyderabad at under our group of institutions, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And as part of that is the discussion on about the future of EPICS program and how we will have a more economical model, which we're going to start this year. So come and join us on the 5th for that discussion, and also send your students to join the student forum on the 5th, 6th, and 7th to Hyderabad. So please work together, and Jai Ho, thank you all for your cooperation.
Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.